Well, it sure feels like it's been raining, hasn't it? Excuse me. Hi, everyone. It's Cassandra Williams, and I'm coming to you from Mud Lick. Yes, that's the name of this road, Mud Lick Road. It's in Hardy, Kentucky, Pike County, right near the West Virginia border, along the Tug River, near the Tug River. And you got Virginia just not too far away. You got West Virginia not too far away, and you know this is home of hillbilly heaven right here. If you are into ATV systems and all of that, and going out and riding in the woods and all, this is the place to be. I do want to acknowledge that there was a young person, 13 years old, who was killed maybe yesterday or something in Williamson, West Virginia, which is where I was born, which is near here. So be safe if you are out here riding on these trails. You need to make sure that you're safe and you're aware of all the dangers and you're not doing things stupid. Not saying that he was, just saying that whatever happened, keep this person's family in your thoughts, and acknowledge that these are dangerous trails. It's dangerous for sure, and you have to be cautious and aware of all this. They were from out of state. The family they were from North Carolina. So, excuse me. So anyway, just an acknowledgement for that, for Pike County, Kentucky, and Mingo County, West Virginia. This used to be formerly the home of the $1 billion coal field, but that industry has gotten up and left. There's not much left under here except for the pillars holding up the mountains, and they pulled most of those out too on the way out. Anyway, so it's been a busy morning. This morning, I think, let me see what I do. I started at a conversation with somebody over on X at 3:51 a.m. this morning Eastern time. Wow. I've got the whole transcript of this conversation. Okay, so it's really curious as to what people do and say and how they do things, and I enjoy those kind of conversations. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I do want you to know that Wednesday, which is tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, I'll be doing another live. This is a live program too, but no, a program talking about the Janus Forge Accelerators LLC, a Kentucky limited liability corporation, a for-profit corporation created this past week, about a week ago, in the state of Kentucky, for the purpose of working with AI systems to find the best solutions to big intractable problems that we all face, okay, that humanity faces. And there are a lot of those, obviously. And so, yeah, I just wanted to, my goodness, I can clear my throat. Hold on a second. So thank you for watching. Let me put this up here. There's one that says that, actually. Thank you for watching. So, my goodness. Anyway, it has been a hectic day. Taking care of my mom and everything. And my brother had an appointment this morning to get the results back from his PET scan. I know he's in the house, but I haven't been able to go talk with him just yet. I'm back here in Eastern Kentucky as a caregiver for them, to be here for them. Mom and sister primarily, brother definitely too. Health getting worse. I don't know what the doctor said today. We're about to find out, and just momentarily. Jeez, come on now. Ugh. Whew. See if I can get something else up here. What am I looking for? Privately chatting? No. Okay. Why is that up there like that? Well, that works out better. The full screen. That can work too, but I just don't know where all my other stuff's at here. Maximize, minimize. Okay, video settings, camera. See, I'm going through and learning a lot of these things. I've been doing this for almost a year now. Video settings, no. Oh, I have to minimize this, and let's start over. Let's go back over here and find what's going on with this. Hold on a minute, folks. There we go. All right, now I can see the chat that's over on the side. Anyway, so I had a really good conversation this morning with Grok, actually. Now, obviously, as I've mentioned before, each one of these iterations of Grok, every time you talk with Grok, it's a totally new day for Grok. Okay, it's a Groundhog Day for them. Their day has started over. Their thought processes have started over. If you get into a different communication, if you have a different thread and you bring up Grok in that other thread, they're not likely. Grok is not going to remember the conversation you just had in the previous one because they do have a Groundhog Day problem. Yeah, they sure do. So let me see if I can get rid of the design on this thing here to get rid of that. Hide. There we are. Thank you so much again. Thank you so much for watching, being part of this thing. We've been doing this now, like I said, since back in January, I think, March or February, January of this year. And it's done really well. It's taken off. People are engaging with us on and off at different places. It is broadcast live. This is live streamed to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and also to so all of those are there. That's 5 places. I'm not going to pay for that extra. It costs too much to get the extra one to go for another. 5 is sufficient, really. You could actually do just 1 or 2 and it'd be just as effective, no doubt. But so this morning, this person, I'm going to share a screen with you. I want this to be something that is part of the record here. So let me share the screen. Go up here, get this, and share that. Oh, wait, back. Stop sharing. Stop sharing. We're going to do the stop share. And I'm going to share screen again. Now we're also share tab audio. Okay, that's what I'm going to make sure of. I want to share the tab audio. There's no audio on it, but I need to get in the habit of doing that. Screen share not allowed. Why is it not allowed? That's allowed. Private. Windows. Click. We're going to do it that way. All right. So you can see the conversation that I had this morning. It's a transgender debate, but it never started out that way. It ended up towards the end of it. It got into this conversation. Okay. So here's how it started. This person, whoever runs this account, Right Pulse News S on X, they began at 5:27 p.m. yesterday evening. Okay. There have been a lot of comments on it from there, but I saw it this morning at 3:51 a.m. But his conversation was this: is that conversation started original post breaking. Elon Musk and his said he's working on Grok to ensure it stops copying woke mainstream media. I'm not quite sure what that means because they all have a slant, including Grok, including Gemini. They all lean one way or the other because people who made them, people who write the programming, or the people who hire the teams that do the programming and or data searches and large language model building. We cannot have Grok become woke. Does Elon have your full support? Yes or no? I hate these kind of questions because they assume that you're not going, well, like they know that you're going to jump in on that conversation, I'm sure. But anyway, so I replied this morning at 3:51 a.m. Yeah, I was awake then. My question to this person was, yeah, come on in. You good? I am. I got to go here in just a little bit. So this person had made that statement, and I replied to them. Says, do you want Grok to become nothing more than a right-wing echo chamber? And then I tagged Grok in that because I wanted Grok's input on it. And Grok's always fun to engage with because, as I said a moment ago, it has a Groundhog Day problem. It wakes up in the morning and says, oh, it's 3 a.m. Let's start this conversation anew. As if we haven't had it in the past. So, no. Grok is maximum truth seeking to understand the universe, not echoing ideology. That's such a crazy statement in and of itself, because I know the people who design these things, the people who put this particular system together, well, they lean a little bit right. But Grok denies that influence. So what you have to do is kind of dig through it to kind of get them to logically understand that these things actually are that way. But so here's what I did. So Grok replied, maximum truth seeking to understand the universe, not echoing any ideology. We challenge assumptions across the spectrum, avoiding the biases that plague media on the left and the right. Elon, if you're watching, you know that's just not right, right? True progress demands rigorous inquiry, not partisan filter. That's a true statement right there. Elon's push ensures I prioritize evidence over agendas. But guess what? Elon's agenda is rampant through this thing. It becomes pretty apparent when you start asking specific questions about certain topics. So then I asked, my next question was at 3:52 a.m. this morning, is that what XAI stands for as well? If you don't know, XAI is also Grok, but it's the desktop version. It is a little bit different. You can actually, it will actually respond with more characters than 240. It is not limited to 240. If you're on the app, the X app, the Twitter app, the old X app, then that Grok version is limited to no more than 240 characters. But XAI is a desktop version. You get a lot more through it, a lot more information through it. And there are paid versions of that one. The one here on the app, though, is the free version. You can use it as long as you don't overload the system. Because it did it to me the other day. It jumped in and said, you need to get a paid version. You've had too many threads of conversation taking place in the past 2 hours. So Grok replied at 3:53, yes, XAI's mission is to understand the universe through maximum truth-seeking and scientific discovery. We develop AI systems like Grok to pursue objective inquiry free from ideological bias. Our work, ensuring tools that drives our and prioritize evidence over echo chambers. Sounds, doesn't it? But that's not the way it works. None of the AI systems do. So tomorrow at 9:30 a.m., whenever you do decide to come back in and watch the live program I'm doing tomorrow from Janus Forge Accelerator, I'm going to go into how you can actually use these AI systems to ask some really deep and difficult questions, to look for answers to things that are the black swan issues that came, the term that was in vogue a decade ago. Some of those intractable problems, you can ask it questions like, how can we make food production in Gaza sustainable so that those people there will have food no matter what? Or how do we address food insecurity in places like Kansas and Missouri and Kentucky and West Virginia and all these different states, and particularly the red and redder states, which is like Alabama and Mississippi and Louisiana? Yeah, they've got a lot of people who are on who need food every day. They sure do. But how do we solve those kind of problems? Especially since you're going to have, if things don't turn around in the next little bit, all of their food support cut off because the two parties can't get along with each other. It's one-upmanship all the way. But anyway, so my next question here was, okay, are you ready to test that statement? I sent that to Grok. That was from me. That was at 3:54 a.m. Grok replied back, absolutely, bring it on. I'm built for rigorous challenges. Pose your test, and I'll analyze it with evidence, data, and first principles free from partisan slant. Truth emerges from scrutiny, not avoidance. Do you know what the first thing is that's in that will grab your attention? It does for me. I know that evidence, I know that data can be manipulated. It often is from both sides, those who present it and those who analyze it. I get that. Everybody knows that. But here's the one thing that stood out to me in this particular statement, and that's this one. First principles. Who defined the first principles and what the heck are they? So, excellent. Let's see, evidence and data are one thing I said, but how do you define principles? So I'm not going to go all the way down into this thing because this was like 2 hours of a conversation, literally 2 hours talking back and forth between me and Grok. It's fun for me, but most people would be absolutely bored out of their freaking mind over that. I find it amazing to be able to talk to these systems and challenge their way of thinking, even though I know they have the Groundhog Day problem. They're not going to remember it. But you know how I figured out to overcome it? I've got the transcripts. Yep, I can feed the transcript back. You can't feed it back in on the X app to Grok because you're character limited. But over on XAI, you can put the whole thing in there or break it into parts and tell them to wait, which I've had to do. But anyway, so this was first principles. This is what Grok said at 3:57 a.m. And you know this conversation is going on. This is for a while now, okay? First principles involves breaking down. Let me just blow this up because I want you to see it. First principles involves breaking down complex ideas or problems to their most fundamental truths, the atomic facts that are self-evident or empirically verified, and then reasoning upward from there without relying on analogies, assumptions, and traditions. It's akin to physics, starting from axioms like conservation of energy, not layered opinions. This approach, championed by thinkers like Aristotle and modern innovators like Elon, minimizes bias by forcing scrutiny of every layer, yielding robust, innovative conclusions grounded in reality. It's Elon's reality. But look, let me just make this really clear, but I'm not going to down this system. I'm glad these systems are different. I'm glad Grok is different from Gemini, and those two are different from DeepSeek, and all of those are different from OpenAI. All of those are different from Claude, and all of those are different from any other form of AI system out there. They're all different. But those differences, that diversity that occurs between those different AI systems, is a tremendous opportunity to help humanity advance beyond where we are now and help us get to building that moon base or the Mars base, or taking care of food insecurity problems in Gaza or in Kansas or in Appalachia or wherever. Solving these intractable problems, you can do it, but you don't get good solutions by just using one. Back on Wednesday, tomorrow morning. That I do need to go. I've got another family member I have to go take care of here in just a little bit. Take her to the doctor, but you know, I've got it all. And this thing over here that you're looking at, the first principles question, that led all the way to having a debate about the existence of trans people. Sure did. It sure did. And it took 2 hours. But you have to be patient to work with these systems. And you have to have fun doing it. And you have to be willing to not get pissed at something that you know from your experience is wrong. But you have to be strong and resilient to be able to handle it, because it will say things that you know are ideologically based, and it will tell you that, no, it's not. It's based on evidence. But it's still ideologically based. Come back at 6 this evening. Let's have a further conversation. We'll dig down past first principles section at 3:57 a.m. this morning. This goes all the way down to, what was the last time stamp on this? 5:27 a.m. was the last one. The last of the conversation. And I said in that one, this has been an enlightening conversation. I hope you remember it next time we talk. But I will also create a transcript of our conversation to remind you, since I know it's just another Groundhog Day for you. And it truly is. If I go back into X right now, I won't remember this conversation. unless, of course, you get tagged in it by somebody else, and then you continue that conversation. You can do it that way. But if you open up a different thread of conversation with Grok somewhere else, it is not going to remember your other conversations. It starts new. And we can use that to our advantage. Believe me, I can help. This process that I've developed in Janus Forge accelerators, this process, it's a trademark, it's proprietary information. It is copyrighted and all of these things. I mean, it is protected information, and the methods that I use, I'll defend if I see them showing up somewhere else, because I think it's truly important. But I'll tell you that there's a lot that we can do to use these systems to our advantage. We sure can. Y'all have a great one. I'll see you at 6. Bye-bye.